This movie covers the story of a young boy who gets trapped in his family matters in such a way that he fails to find a way out and ends up having a relationship with his father's girlfriend. The movie opens up with a boy named Simon, who used to live with his girlfriend, Fabian. Simon and Fabian are cartoon artists who live together to avoid their families, as most of the people in their families are doctors who do not like their artistic nature. On the day of his father's 60th birthday party, Simon decides to take Fabian with him and introduce her to his family. Simon and Fabian continue their journey, and this way, Simon returns home after 6 months to see his parents. Simon meets his parents, and there are many other family members at the party who are all doctors. Despite them all, Simon spots a mysterious lady at the party who becomes the center of his attention, but he fails to recognize her. Soon, Simon finds the mysterious lady involved with his father and learns she is his father's new secretary. Simon's father, Carl, is a psychiatrist, and his family has no issues with his habit of changing girls. Simon's father is notorious for having many girlfriends, and he is also known for converting his patients into his secretaries and then into his girlfriends. Simon's mother is very concerned about her marriage and does not like that her husband, despite being married, has relationships with other girls. Simon's mother is helpless as she cannot do anything because she works under her husband and has no option but to bear this all. Simon's mother informs him about Carl's new secretary, Sonia, the same lady who drew Simon's attention earlier. After the party, Simon meets his mother, who informs him that his father plans to go on a trip with Sonia, which will surely end their marriage. Simon's mother is very concerned about her marriage and requests Simon to replace her at the clinic so that she can go with Carl and enjoy some days with him. Otherwise, Sonia will go, and this trip will end their marriage. Simon takes pity on his mother and agrees to replace her. Unwillingly, Carl has to take his wife on the trip while Simon stays alone with Sonia at the clinic. After that, Sonia and Simon sit together when she complains to him that if he had not come and replaced his mother, she would have gone with Carl. This trip would have helped them to make their relationship stronger. Carl does not pay much attention and replies that she may not be aware his father has many girlfriends, which is normal for him. Sonia thinks for a while, and when they are inside the house, she informs Simon that their relationship is not like that. She informs him that he does not know anything about them and asks him to keep his opinions to himself. After hearing this, Simon thinks that Sonia and his father are in a deep relationship, so he decides to leave. The next day, Simon listens to Sonia talking to someone on her phone. He notes that Sonia is saying to the person that he has a family and children, but she has nothing, and asks him to not waste her time. Simon understands that his father, despite being on a trip with his mother, is still in contact with Sonia, and it was him on the phone call. Simon and Sonia were assigned to convert Carl's lectures and interviews into text, which he recorded as videos. Writing the text after listening to the videos was a very tough job, and Simon, as well as Sonia, also used to find this exhausting. One day, Sonia informs Simon that his father loves her and openly confesses his love among others. But despite being in a relationship with her, he is enjoying holidays with his wife. Sonia gets emotional and starts crying as she is not well settled and has no family. She reveals that she wants to start a family by going on a trip with his father and marrying him. Simon thinks his father is doing wrong, so he gives tissues to Sonia, and when he tries to comfort her, Sonia kisses him while getting emotional. Simon draws back and starts thinking about what they are doing. After that, Simon comes out and wonders what he is doing as he cannot get closer to Sonia because his mother has appointed him to keep her away from his father. Simon finds himself trapped inside the complex trap of his family as he recalls that Fabian has informed him that they have a cartoon show within 2 weeks. They have no preparations for this because Simon is busy with his family matters. The following day, Simon returns to Sonia and apologizes to her for what happened between them, but Sonia takes it lightly as it was normal for her. When Simon asks her not to tell his father about it, Sonia informs him that she has already told him she is seeing a guy after him, but she has not revealed Simon's name. She has done this to ruin his trip. Simon finds it strange, and he becomes curious about Sonia as he has to spend time with her. After Sonia leaves, Simon starts looking for information about her, and as he knows that Sonia has been his father's patient, so he decides to look for her file. Eventually, he finds her file and learns that Sonia was a patient with suicidal tendencies and was treated by his father. Simon keeps the files, and the next day, Sonia learns that her files are missing as the files are confidential between her and Carl. She starts looking for the files and eventually finds the files from Simon. Sonia takes the files and rushes to a room as she has been trying to hide her suicidal tendency from everyone, but Simon knows it. Simon approaches the room where Sonia is crying emotionally, so he approaches her, and when he attempts to snatch the files, Sonia turns and kisses him. But this time, Simon also fails to resist and kisses her back passionately. Sonia stops him and mentions that someone can come here, so they must go down to the basement. As Sonia opens the door, they find her workers at the clinic who give instructions to Sonia, but Simon hides behind the door. After everyone leaves, Sonia leads Simon to the basement room. Simon does not understand, as he was not meant to be doing this, as he was here to keep Sonia away from his father. But now he is falling in love with Sonia. Sonia leads him inside the room and attracts him to her. Simon can't control himself, and they end up making love. After making love, Sonia asks Simon to get into her car, and she will drop him off at his house. Simon sits in the car with Sonia, and Sonia drops him near her house. Before Simon can leave, Sonia asks him to pay a visit to her, and Simon leaves after kissing and assuring her that he will visit her someday. On his way home, Simon finds Fabian with one of her friends at a restaurant, and when Simon approaches her, she reveals that they have a cartoons festival within a few days, so she needs someone to help her. Simon does not like the idea that she is with someone else at lunch. Before Simon can leave, Fabian kisses him and asks him to get free as soon as possible as she needs him. Simon leaves, but he starts doubting Fabian, thinking she has started her new relationship with her friend. Simon decides to follow Fabian and her friend, and ultimately he finds Fabian completely dissolved in her preparations for the cartoons festival. Simon meets her and asks why she has changed so quickly. Fabian informs him that Simon is busy with his family matters and needs someone's favor in preparing for the festival, as she has been preparing for this event for a long time. Simon gets confused as he does not want to lose his girlfriend, and neither wants to hurt his mother. Suddenly, he receives a call from his mother, who asks him to keep working on her behalf for a few more days as they are having a good time. After that, Simon takes his girlfriend to a nightclub where they have fun together, but during this, he remains worried. Eventually, he reveals that he has made love with Sonia, which infuriates Fabian, and she leaves him. After a while, Simon receives a text from Sonia, who informs him that tomorrow is Saturday and invites him to her apartment. Simon reaches to see her, and after having a small chat, they start kissing each other and again end up making love. Following that, Sonia serves dinner to Simon, and they gossip a lot while having dinner. The next morning, Simon learns that Sonia has left for the market to buy a few things, and then Simon finds a picture of Sonia with his father and understands that his father would have given his apartment to Sonia. All of a sudden, Carl arrives there after enjoying his vacation, and he is stunned by seeing Simon there. When asked, Simon counter-questions his father about what he is doing here. Carl informs him that he owns the apartment and is here to get a book. Carl then informs Simon that Sonia wants a baby, and he cannot give her one because he has had a vasectomy surgery. Meanwhile, Sonia arrives, and she ignores Carl for leaving her behind, and kisses Simon instead when Carl tries to talk to her. Sonia asks Simon whether he slept well or not, which leaves a strange smile on Simon's face. Carl replies to Simon that he has nothing to do with their relationship, but can tell his mother about this. Simon meets his mother, and she is shocked to learn about his relationship with Sonia. She blames herself for this, but she has no other option as there is no use in crying over spilt milk. Simon's mother accepts this relationship, and after a few days, Sonia gives birth to Simon's child, as Carl was sterile when he had a relationship with Sonia. Sonia's life is set as she got an apartment from Carl and a baby from Simon, but still, she has Simon to love her. Sonia lives with Simon and his family, and she hands over her baby to Simon, who looks at the baby and gets happy for a while. But still, he is confused thinking about how settled his life was 1 year ago with Fabian. Now he has been entangled with his family's complex network, and the movie ends here.